Let's cross live now to Muslim attorney Hassan Shibli in the U.S. state of Florida. Many thanks for joining us on the programme. It's very good to see you. Do you think that by saying it's against Islamophobia, the Biden administration will score any political points among Muslim American voters?
Absolutely not. His actions have enraged the American Muslim community. Biden is practically a war criminal at this point. He is enabling a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people by greenlighting the horrific bombing of the Palestinian civilians by Israel with American-made and paid-for weapons. Every single day, hundreds of innocent, defenseless Palestinian women and children that are Muslim and Christian are being massacred, killed, blown to pieces by American bombs launched by Israel. So his attempt to now condemn Islamophobia at home is absolutely laughable. It's hollow. It's meaningless. If he wants to take real action, he needs to demand an immediate ceasefire. Every 9 minutes, a Palestinian child is being blown to pieces. This is an utter genocide, and it's just laughable. He has lost the respect of the Muslim community. And frankly, the state itself, the United States, is the biggest perpetrator of Islamophobia. You look at the watch list. Every Muslim in this country has either been harassed by the FBI or knows someone harassed by the FBI. Every Muslim in America gets stopped when they travel and gets treated like a second-class citizen, or knows someone that gets stopped when they travel. We are treated like second-class citizens by this government with Islamophobic policies. They definitely need to stop and change them. But to come out right now and announce an anti-Islamophobia program while they're actively endorsing, funding, and supporting the genocide of the Palestinians is an insult to our faces.
What do you make of these reports that some members of Arab rights groups that are pro-Palestine in the US, and even just regular people posting on social media, have lost their jobs, or jobs have been threatened because of their personal views? What do you think about that?
I mean, it shows how much the pro-Zionist regime powers that be are afraid of the truth. That's why they're doing their utmost to censor and silence anyone who speaks out for Palestinian human rights. I think what's enraging to me is, why do we have to convince the powers that be that what Israel is doing, killing nearly 10,000 civilians over a few weeks, 3,000 of whom are children, is wrong? It is morally, ethically wrong on every single level. They are doing an act of genocide. And when we speak out and condemn it, we are fired from our jobs. We are visited by the FBI. We're subjected to hate crimes. We're censored online. My office, we've received over 600 complaints of people who've had their social media shut down. We've gotten many complaints of people who are fired for speaking out for Palestinian human rights. I think it's because they're afraid of the truth. They want to silence the truth, because when people hear from both sides, they wake up and they recognize what Israel is doing with American paid for and manufactured weapons is a crime against humanity and must stop. So that's why they're trying to silence us.
So what, in your view, should the American government be doing to counter Islamophobic sentiments in the country?
I mean, the first thing is acknowledge that what Israel is doing against the Palestinian people is horrific, is wrong. It is apartheid, it is occupation, it is war crimes. America must immediately stop funding and enabling Israeli crimes against the people of Palestine and call for a just peace where all people living in that land are given equal rights. The whole root of this conflict is that Israel wants to be a so-called Jewish state when the majority of the people who live there are not Jewish. So they're trying to drive them out. That's what they're trying to do. They're saying, oh, leave northern Gaza. Where are they supposed to go? They're just trying to ethnically cleanse them and drive them out of their homes. So the American government has to first put a red line to what Israel is doing. Secondly, it must dismantle the watch list program. The watch list has just so many innocent American Muslim activists, leaders, average people on this list, and they get harassed and targeted when they travel. It has to dismantle the watch list. It has to stop enabling Islamophobia through the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, and the FBI. They have to start with ending the bloodshed and stop enabling the blowing up of children. And then secondly, dismantle the very programs that result in the government unjustly persecuting Muslims. I will tell you, as a lawyer, I have had U.S. attorneys, top federal prosecutors, admit that the government in America has not been prosecuting Muslims, it's been persecuting them. It's politically driven. And I think that's part of the extremist Zionist agenda that wants to keep weak at home, because they're afraid we can influence America towards a more just international policy that calls for peace and human rights and justice, not one that calls for carnage and bloodshed.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today and for sharing your insight. Muslim attorney Hassan Shibli in the U.S. state of Florida, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for